This is the reverse side of the horizontal parallelogram check stitch pattern, and this one looks amazing on the front, as you can see here, as well as the reverse, making it perfect for blankets and scarves and any sort of project. I love the backside the best. Hey, it's Denise from LoomHat.com, and as always, I want to give you that heads up that this is a stitch pattern only video, and so there's no cast on or cast off, because the project, not the stitch, is what determines these two things. All right, before we go too far into it, let me give you my stitch marker placement. I'm going to start with 2 knit stitches as my edges. I'm going to then start the stitch pattern here and repeat the stitch pattern 3 times, and then I'm going to end my project, well, my sample, with 2 knit stitches, which are not part of the pattern. All right, without further ado, let's get started. For row 1, we're going to do 4 knit stitches followed by 4 purl stitches. So remember that this is my edge, which is 2 knit stitches and is not part of the stitch pattern, right? Ignore those 2. We're going to start here with those 4 knit stitches that are part of the pattern, and I'm using the flat version of the knit stitch. You can use the U-wrap or the true. Then for the purl stitch, put your yarn under the existing loop, and with your hook scoop up. You're going to create a new loop right here. Take the existing loop off, put the new one on, and pull. Let's do that again. Scoop up to create a new loop. Take the old one off, put the new one on, and pull. You're pulling to tighten that stitch. And then you're going to finish these last 2 purl stitches. And once you do that, that is the 8 stitches for the pattern. And then you're just going to repeat those 8 stitches as necessary. For row 2, we're going to purl 3, knit 4, and then purl 1. So remember, I have that edge of 2 knit stitches, and then I'm going to start the stitch. So we're going to do those 3 purl stitches. Here's my second and my third, and I'm going to follow that with 4 knit stitches. Now if you wanted to do the U-wrap, here it is. All right, you're going to half wrap your peg and then knit off. Half wrap, take the bottom loop over the top and knit off. That's the U-wrap. And then you end with 1 purl stitch right here, and then you're going to repeat those 8 stitches as necessary. For row 3, we're going to purl 2 and then knit 4 and end with 2 purl stitches. So start the row with those 2 purl stitches, and then I'm going to do 4 knit, and you see that in this direction I like to use the flat. I use them interchangeably. You can too. All right, then you're going to end with those 2 purl stitches and repeat as necessary. Now for row 4, we're going to purl 1, knit 4, and then purl 3. And what I want you guys to notice is that you're always knitting 4. Okay, so let me show you the rows we've worked through for now. You'll see that all of the rows, the purls are the ones that change, but knit, you're always knitting 4. All right, so let's start with that first purl stitch, right? 1 purl, and then those 4 knit stitches that you're going to knit in a row. And in this direction, I always use the U-wrap. We're going to end that row with these 3 purl stitches. So 8 stitches in total for the pattern, and within those 8, the 4 knit stitches are always together. We're now ready for a super easy row 5, which is purl 4 and knit 4. Super easy. One thing I want to say as you knit those 4 purls and then 4 knit stitches is that this is a flat version of this stitch pattern. It does not translate to in the round like for a hat. If you want to do that, you need to get the written pattern, and you can find that at LoomHat.store. Once you do that, you're ready for row 6, which is exactly the same purl 4, knit 4, just in the other direction. So real quick, I just want to take some time and say thank you to my Patreon patrons. for their continued support. It's incredible. I've been on Patreon for, oh my gosh, so many years, and so many of you have been there with me since the beginning. So thank you to those who just started and those who have been with me for, I don't know, I think it's 10 years. All right, now row 7, purl 1, knit 4, and purl 3. Here we are again, other side of the knitting loom, doing 1 purl and those 4 knit stitches. For those of you that want to do the E-wrap, you would really need to either get chunkier yarn or get a knitting loom that is small gauge. If you use a E-wrap now, it's not going to look right. Just that heads up, okay? You're done with that. You're ready for row 8, where you're going to do 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, and then 2 purl. So other side, we do those 2 purl stitches, our 4 knit, which is consistent throughout the pattern, like I said. And once you're done with your 4 knit stitches, you're going to end that row with 2 purls. And you're going to repeat these 8 stitches as necessary. Real quick, because we're almost at the end of this pattern, I just want you guys to take a look at this. Before I blocked the fabric, right, the swatch, this is what it looked like. It looked kind of, only word I can think of is it looked kind of crunchy and like tiny peaks. The back side looks very different. So I just wanted you to know that it looks like this until you block it. I'll put a link in the description for steam blocking this project. Now we're ready for row 9, which is a purl 3, knit 4, purl 1. So let's get started on this end of the knitting loom with those 3 purls. By the way, quick commercial, the stitch markers that you see here with the metal rings are available as well at lumahead.store. By now you've done those 3 purl stitches, those 4 knit stitches, and the last purl, and repeat as necessary. And your very last row looks a lot like row 1, but it's row 10, and you're going to knit 4 and purl 4. You made it to the end. That makes you extra special, and I love you for it. So please remember to like, comment, share. The sharing helps me so much. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe, because I have lots of projects coming up for next year. Until I see you then, many hugs, kisses, until we loom again.